So, hi everyone, and welcome to the second of my Facebook Lives with Spirit and Destiny magazine on manifesting with Mother Nature. And for those of you who joined me last week, it was really, really beautiful to connect with you all. We are talking in these videos about this, really about the cycles of regeneration that occur in nature. And I talked a little bit about the life cycle of the tree, and I used the apple tree as an analogy. Last time we looked at seeding our intentions, and we really talked about the importance of intention and how simple but how powerful the setting of intentions is. You know, the minute you have a thought, you've already intended to have that thought. So our intention is really vitally important in creating what we want to create and manifesting our thought into form and bringing our desires to fruition. Hello Susan, nice to have you here. Hi everyone who's joining me. So today I want to talk about the next stage of the evolution. And don't worry if you missed last week, you can catch up, you can go back and watch the video. They're all here on Spirit and Destiny's page. But even if you missed last week, I will be recapping, and as part of the process, we'll be going back and sort of talking about the seeding of our intentions and following the whole process through. So thank you so much. Oh, thanks, Susanna. Lovely to see you, honey. So this week, yeah, we're going to be talking about this stage here, which is sprouting our intentions into form, and this is really where the birth process starts to happen. And one of the ways we're going to connect with this is by connecting with our emotions. As I said last week, we're all part of nature. We're not separate from it. You know, nature is within us. It's all around us. And I did talk a little bit about the sacred geometry that is prevalent in nature. It's in our cells. It's even in the shape of our eyes, and it basically means that we are mathematically divinely perfect. We grow according to these patterns in nature, and that includes not just our physical growth, but our spiritual and our emotional growth as well. Follows this beautiful sequence and this beautiful pattern in nature. Hi, Julia. Thanks for joining us as well, and hi, Kirsty. And I just want to say, even before we start, a huge thank you to Spirit and Destiny for hosting these. It's such a beautiful idea to bring people together. Don't forget the November issue is out now, so you can grab your copy there. And, you know, there are loads of other people doing these events too. I know lovely Katie Oman is doing them, and Beverly Dencham's doing angel ones. And, I love angels, they're my bag as well. So thank you for joining me. What I'm going to do is I always like to start with a little poem, and then I'm going to have a little reading. I've pulled a card for you guys just to see what's going on. I'm tuning into the guidance as to what's happening on the planet at the moment as well, and a little bit of an energy update for you. And then we're going to delve into a very deep meditation process. And as I'm a channel, I only have a loose idea as to where we're going. I always just kind of say what I see. The guides will come in and they'll show me where we're going to go today. And but the idea is that it's not just about manifesting this. It's also about healing and releasing that which we need to let go of, and really honoring ourself, our own wisdom, connecting with our own subconscious. I'm really of the belief that we are our own teacher, our own guru, and the best place to find the answers you seek is within. So, on that note, there were actually two poems that jumped out at me. I'm taking these from the Poetry of Light, which is my self-published collection of works. It's the second of my poetry books, but both of these are nature poems, and I couldn't choose between them, so I'm going to read them both. They're only short, but really, it is about who we are, and I love this first one. Sort of in a weird way reminds us of how small we are, but also how powerful we are as part of that huge cosmos and the microcosm and the macrocosm of everything. So this is called Galaxies. Um, if you want to close your eyes as you listen to the words, you can, because you never know what amazing imagery might come to mind. You are the music of the cosmos. Those diamonds burn for you. The worlds turn, our hearts yearn. Here there is so much to learn. Chasing asteroids with trailing tails. It's incredible how light prevails, and God lives in minute details. By the time the light reflects in your tears, it might have traveled a billion light years. Nebulas swirl with trillions of stars, yet I am from Venus, and you are from Mars? But who really cares who or what or where we are when we can just look up at the stars? And I always think I love looking up at the stars. I just think there's so much magic there, and it really does hold infinite potential. And some of the guides and the angels that I work with say that when we look up, at the stars, we see those beautiful points of light, but when they're looking down at us, they see our hearts like stars. So if you can imagine that the more we connect to our hearts and we connect to that love energy, and we really hold ourselves in that love vibration, the brighter our own light glows. And in groups like this, when we come together as well, we can hold intention for ourselves, but we can also hold really beautiful intention to send healing to the world and the planet at this time. And I think that that's so vitally important right now, because we're in such a huge time of change on this earth right now, and we know that, right? I find that one of the things that keeps happening and has been happening to me for a number of years, and some of you might be experiencing this too, where you just feel such deep emotion that you become really moved by the smallest things, moved by the tiniest gestures of kindness in people. And you might want to spontaneously burst into tears at the simplest of things. And I find this happens to me quite a lot. I'm very, very moved, and just by the little things. Anyway, the second poem I want to share is kind of like that. It's one that sort of came through in one of those moments, and it's a little bit cheesy, but you know what? So am I sometimes. So it's: good morning or good afternoon, beautiful world. A new day has unfurled, sunshine to guide the way through this glorious new day. Thank you, birds and bees and flowers and trees. Thank you, rocks and stones. Thank you, stones and rocks and sheep in flocks. Thank you, earth and fire, as we ground our desire. Thank you, water and air, to make all things fair. Elemental illumination, inglorious exaltation, leading us to joyous gratification. Aho. And that's what we're going to be doing here today, to ground our desires. So that's from the Poetry of Light. And I pulled us a little card today, and the cards that I'm working with today, they're beautiful actually. I got them in Glastonbury. It's called the Fairy Wisdom Oracle Deck by Amy and Nancy Brown. I don't actually know. It says it's published by US Game Systems, but they're really, really pretty cards. They're gorgeous little fairy cards. And the fairy that I pulled for us today is the oldest fairy. And to me, this is speaking about our ancient wisdom, and our ancient wisdom coming back to the fore, rising within us, and that remembrance that we can create the world that we want if we remember. And I think there's so much ancient wisdom in the earth that the earth remembers, and we can access that by accessing nature. The rocks, the trees, the plants, they all have that primordial memory as we do in ourselves. So I truly believe, and maybe I'm getting a little bit involved in make-believe here, but I believe that true healing and manifestation begins with our belief. It begins with our ability to imagine and create. Imagine is like I Magic Nation. It's I see it, therefore I believe it, therefore I manifest it, therefore I can bring it from thought into form. And if it's for your highest good, you can create it. The more we work with our imagination, the more tangible and real we can make things within our imagination, the more tangible and real we can make them in our daily life, the more we can imagine them into our experience. So today, working with feelings and feelings and emotions predominantly, and how we can make our desires and our intentions as real as possible to each of us, as that little seed that we planted on the last workshop starts to find its way through the darkness, through that energy of the unknown, the not knowing, and makes its way up through the dirt into the light. And I love that analogy because I really feel like that's sort of the energy that we're in on the planet at the moment. So we can think of this in terms of our personal desires and what we want for ourselves, because so many of us have been challenged at this time. There's all different kinds of stories coming through about the strange, weird things that people have been going through in this time. And then you've got the big global pandemic thing that's affecting all of us as well. And the whole thing around it is the not knowing what's going to happen. You know, we don't know what's around the corner. We don't know how things are going to look on the other side of this, and it comes down to trust. But we can actually help to co-create the type of world and planet and the type of outcome that we want to see. A world that is peaceful, where everyone's taking care of each other, where everyone has their needs met, is, I believe, entirely possible. And it starts with, what does that look like for you? It isn't selfish to think about your own needs and to connect with your own joy. Don't feel guilty if you're having a good time in all of this. You know, guilt doesn't help anybody. So about connecting with our ancient wisdom and calling up that energy of trust. So, what else was I going to say? We'll see what comes through. Anyway, can everyone give me a thumbs up? Is internet working okay? Everyone can see me okay? Anyone having any issues? No issues with the streaming this time. That's good to know. Okay, so I'm going to just invite you all to close your eyes and just bring your conscious awareness from your head or from wherever it is down into your heart or into your belly, wherever you feel most centered and wherever you feel most comfortable. But it's a really good idea to connect your consciousness to your physical body and just start to feel really grounded. Really feel the weight of your body on the chair, wherever you're sitting, or if you're laying down, where you're laying down. Oh, thank you, Tracy. And just start to breathe into the body, really connect to the body. Be aware of your body as a collection of vibrating cells. Be aware that your body, even though it seems solid, is actually a humming and vibrating symphony of energy that is moving. And as you become aware of this, I want you to just feel your connection to the body, feel it hum, and then feel that vibration begin to raise. And you might start to feel some beautiful tingles in your fingers and toes. With every breath in, imagine that you're breathing in light and breathing in love and calling it to you. And I want you to imagine that you can begin to expand your energy field. So it's as though you're like a piece of gum and you're stretching your energy field out. So you can stretch your feet all the way down into the earth like a piece of toffee, pulling your feet down, right down into the core of the earth, where you can find or imagine a beautiful crystal at the core of the earth, which is the energy of Divine Mother, Mother Earth. And a beautiful harmonizing vibration here. Be aware of that connection to the core of Mother Earth and her love coming all the way up with every in-breath into your heart space, connecting you to all of nature. And feel, see or sense almost like you have roots coming out of your feet, like tree roots, and going all through the dimensions of the earth, the plant kingdom, the crystal kingdom, the nature kingdom, really connecting you down in. Imagine that your body is becoming like the trunk of a tree, a beautiful tree of light. And then as you breathe in, breathe light down from all those stars that we talked about in that poem from the galaxy, as though you can harness all the energy and the light from those stars and all those dimensions above and from the sun, and draw that light into you so that you become like a glorious tree of light, huge and beautiful and expansive and feeling very centered. And just breathe here for a moment. Just feel yourself connected in with everything, but feeling very at home in your own space. And I want you to become aware of one of those branches of the tree and let your consciousness travel out along the branch of that tree, right to the very end. And I want you to imagine that right at the very end of that branch, there is some leaves perhaps, but there's a little bud forming. I want you to imagine that you are that bud. You've become that bud. And as you become that bud, with your conscious awareness, I want you to imagine that you can just very gently start to open. And when you very gently start to open, it's as though your whole energy field is taking in fresh air, fresh energy, as though you can sip the air and taste the energy of the new, the unknown, the new. When a bud first opens, it has its first taste of the new, of the unknown. And I want you to imagine that there's an energy of excitement around this. Like you don't know what is going to happen when you open to this energy, but you know that something fresh and new is there. It's a feeling of excitement, of renewal, of rejuvenation, of curiosity. So as that bud opens, I just want you to imagine what the air might taste like. What would the fresh air taste like to you? Let's use your sense of taste. Taste that fresh air. Breathe it in. And I want you to imagine with your sense of smell, what might the air smell like around you, that fresh air? What would it smell like? Perhaps it would have a perfume, or perhaps it would be like a fresh cut lawn. What does that fresh, if you could imagine you're in a beautiful rainforest, and that fresh, dewy energy of pure air. Beautiful. And what if you could touch the air? Would it be cool? Would it be warm? What would the sensation be? Would it be like a cool breeze? Would it be like warm sun? What would the texture of it be? And allow that energy, the smell and the taste and the perfume and the texture, to let you feel at ease, to help you relax, to help you trust. And as you open to trust, just allowing all that bud, and it might be a bud that contains new leaves. It could be a bud that is a flower. I want you to pay attention to the flower or the leaves or the texture of that bud. What is that bud as it opens? Does it blossom? Opening and trusting as nature does, opening and trusting as to what you might create, what you might receive, what you might seed into the world. And then from that blossom or that bud, becoming aware of a beautiful juicy piece of fruit, or it might be a bunch of fruit. What fruit is being presented to you, or what fruit are you becoming as you allow that bud to open? And then we become aware that within that fruit there are seeds, more seeds. And as that fruit grows and develops and comes to the fullness of its fruition, eventually it is going to drop from that branch, and that also takes trust. So coming into that energy of absolute trust, knowing that that cycle, it has to continue. This is what nature does. So when the fruit is about to fall from the tree, holding trust, is it going to splat on the ground? Is it going to fall on soft earth? Will it be caught? Just holding that trust that it will fall exactly how it needs to, where it needs to, and allowing it to drop. And then feeling that fruit decompose into the soft earth and the seed going into the earth. Now become the seed. And last week we really became aware of ourselves as this golden seed. So again, just be aware of yourself as the seed and think about your original intention that you brought to mind last week. And it might have been something specific, or it might have been just something that you wanted to feel. Become aware of yourself as that seed and the seed of your intention, and just ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And can you come into that energy of trust? Allow that seed and the casing around that seed to now begin to crack open. Feel that shell, that protective shell, cracking open, and become aware of yourself as a little shoot now coming out of the seed. And hold in your heart your intention. What is it you want to create? What is it you want to manifest? what fears do you want to let go of in the releasing of that shell, in the letting go of that protection? What are the fears? What are the doubts? Perhaps there is, any pessimism that you've been holding on to, any previous experiences that you don't want to influence your seeding of your new intention. Just let that go as the shell cracks and dissolves away. And then feel yourself as this new shoot with all this excitement, all this potential. Maybe I can't see my way forward, but I can feel which way is up. I'm searching for the light. I'm searching for the illumination. I feel myself traveling up through the earth towards my goal, towards that which I need. And I want you to just really trust that that which is for you will never pass you by, and you will have your needs met. And then feel yourself breaking the surface of that earth, and again taking your first sip of air as that new shoot. Feel all that potential. Imagine that your first little shoot breaks the surface and is flooded with light. Imagine what it would feel like to come up out of darkness and have your first experience of light, rebirth, and the potential of that light, knowing that that light is going to nourish you and take care of you, is going to compel you forward. It's the light of determination, it's the light of illumination, it's having all of your needs met. Become aware also of the energy of rain, of water, of the cleansing rain to wash off any excess dirt. And we call on the energy of the rain. We've had a little bit of rain in London recently, so just allowing this rain, just the energy of rain to fall about you, cleansing away again any residue, anything you've brought with you from past experiences or hardships as you've struggled towards the light, as you've struggled to bring your goal to fruition. Feeling it just wash away. And you might be aware of experiences being washed away from you, even people that haven't been very helpful, any old toxins clearing from the energy field, clearing from your sphere of influence, clearing from your vibration. Feeling yourself open now, open your leaves into the sun, into the rain, into the wind, into all of those elements, feeling yourself anchored in the earth and drawing to you all of those elements, earth, air, fire, water, coming into the combined state within you. And then just let go of yourself as that little sprout, that little shoot, and come in to the image of yourself as human, as the human. And I want you to be aware of yourself as the newborn baby within, the baby that you were when you were first born into this world, when you first arrived. And just be aware of how you feel as you connect to your inner newborn. Now, some people might sense, it depends on the story of your birth really. You might sense excitement, there might be doubt, there could be fear, but I want you to imagine that you as adult you can send all of this love, all of this excitement, all of this nourishment to newborn you, to the infant you, to the baby you, so that the baby you feels utterly held, utterly supported, utterly loved. And we're rewriting that story of your birth so that you can feel even more held here on this earth, so that you belong, you're welcomed, you're warm, you're safe, you're cozy, whether you had a traumatic birth, a fast birth, a slow birth, whether you were hurtled into the world or forceps out. I died at birth, so I had a difficult one, but I did it, I got here. And just breathe in that nourishment. Almost imagine you can feel your own arms, your own loving support coming around you as that baby. And just bring that baby into your heart, and then feel that baby you growing through every age, feeling that level of support through every age. And imagine that you're rewriting the story so that any other time where that pattern of perhaps not feeling fully supported repeated at other ages in your life, the old story, that you're rewriting that. So going through your childhood and allowing your inner child to feel this support, going through your teenage years and allowing your teenage you to feel this support, and into adulthood, young adulthood, and then to the age that you are now, and just feel yourself holding yourself. Feel yourself nourishing you with all of the love and support and nurturance that you need. And I want you to just rest in your heart here and just tell yourself, I've got you. I've got you. And you have all the potential to create exactly the life that you want. You can do it. You're qualified, you're allowed, you're welcome, it's possible. And you're going to imagine now that because you've offered yourself this support, that the entire universe is now conspiring to support you, and you're starting to magnetize to you all of the support and the help that you need. And this can come from people, from experiences, from conditions, financial support, emotional support, all of the support and the nourishment that you need. Magnetize it to you. Imagine that your heart has become like a huge big sun or a star, and it is magnetizing to you everything that you need to bring to fruition your desires and to bring you into perfect and pure alignment with your soul purpose. Breathe in. As you breathe out, then I want you to imagine that you're radiating that ball of sun out from your heart, your inner light, like the light of the sun, as brightly as you can, and send beams of this light and this potential off throughout your whole universe. And see yourself as the center of your universe. As we orbit around the sun, imagine the whole cosmos orbiting around you, because from your perspective, from where you sit, you are the very center of your world and your universe. So really, really feel yourself magnetizing to you that which you need, and then as you breathe out, radiating out that light and telling the whole universe, I am ready to receive. I am open to receive everything that is coming to me for my highest good. And then again, just imagine yourself as that little shoot with your face to the sun, trusting and knowing that at some point you're going to grow into a magnificent, huge, big tree. Beautiful, big tree. And as you sit there, I'm being guided to share that, again, we have beautiful Archangel Ariel. She always wants to pop in, the nature angel. This is the nature angel from my oracle card deck, Archangel Fire Oracle, which is coming out in April. But she is the nature angel, but Ariel also has another function in that she is an angel of courage. So she's here to bolster your courage. She's very good also at helping us stand up for the little people, but in this instance, it's as though she's saying, stand up for your little self, stand up for yourself, stand your ground where you need to, hold the resonance of knowing that you deserve the very best. If anyone has taken advantage of you, just send them loving forgiveness and come back to self-support. Be aware that you're allowed to say no to things if they don't resonate, and say yes to you, yes to your joy, yes to your safety, yes to your comfort, and you needn't feel guilty about that. And Ariel's here with all of the nature spirits and the nature angels conspiring to lift you up, to support you, to surround you with love, and to keep you safe. So we're going to allow our little sprout to continue to grow over the next week. And then next week, I'm going to be back here at 1 p.m. again on Thursday, and we're going to continue our process. But I want you to just be aware of the image of a little shoot or a leaf. You might see nature symbols in the energy around you. You might just be aware of pictures of leaves or trees or seeds, anything like that that you see, or patterns in nature that you are aware of. Be aware that nature will be speaking to you in the signs and the omens. You might see fairies, People might even mention nature to you more. Just be aware that the signs will be coming in to support you, and just say thank you. Hold gratitude. It's really important in manifesting that we hold gratitude for everything that we've received. So just breathing in, allow yourself to be aware of yourself as human again. Allow your energy field to become body shaped, and we're just going to release the image of that big tree of light now that we opened at the beginning, and see it come around you like a sphere or a cloak of light, sealing your space, sealing your energy field, offering you protection, and then shrink your consciousness right down so that it becomes body shaped, and see yourself surrounded in golden light, creating that safe boundary. And we just seal our space with love and gratitude, and we send all those intentions off with surrender and trust that what is for us will never pass us by, and that all of nature is conspiring to bring our desires and our goals and our purpose to fruition. And I just want to say again a huge, huge thank you to Spirit and Destiny. Don't forget the November issue is out now. If you liked the meditation you saw here, do join me next week at 1 p.m. And also to let you know, I do have a YouTube channel. It's called The Alexandra Wenman Show, and I do share channeled messages and interviews and things on the show. So you can join me there if you just Google Alexandra Wenman, or you search in YouTube, you should find me there. And my website is alexandrawenman.com. I do have some amazing workshops coming up. I'm actually really excited because I am allowed to run my Goddess Circle in person on the 10th of October. We've covered all the COVID protocols, so we will be running it in person. It's going ahead on the 10th of October. It's in London for those of you who are watching this. I am doing some online ones as well, and I'm running some Archangel Diamond Flame alchemy workshops as well, but you can find all the details either on my Instagram, my Facebook, or my website, alexandrawenman.com. And I'm just catching up with people's comments here. Oh, Helen, absolutely beautiful. That's so spot on. The last two books my 7-year-old brought home from school have been about fruits, seeds, and gardens. It's just lovely. I can't get over it. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, lovelies. And Susanna, of course, you were already a beautiful tree. I can see that. Don't forget the oldest fairy, your inner wisdom, and take care of yourselves. Give yourselves all the love that you need and deserve, and be very gentle with yourselves. Hopefully we'll still be allowed out to connect with nature. It's a great idea after one of these processes to just go outside if you can, if you have access, and go and hug a tree or put your feet in the earth as well to help ground your intention. So lots of love, and I will see you next week, next Thursday at 1 p.m. And I'd love to hear your feedback as well. If you have any amazing things happen in terms of your manifesting, do let me know. I always love to hear the success stories after these processes. Lots of love. Thanks again, and thank you to Spirit and Destiny for having me.